Welcome back to another installment. 8 more, Daryl. 8 more Sunday Mondays. They're dwindling down. They're evaporating into the sunset.
Hey, I have a question for you, Corey.
Yes, sir.
Since we have 8 to go and we've announced it, have you noticed all the people that are begging us to keep doing it? Because there was a time in a commercial break once when you told me I ruined your show and that 25 people had texted you in that one day alone to tell you how horrible I was. And I was just wondering if you saw all the nice people that are saying, don't go, stay,
Daryl,
it's such a good show. And I was wondering if you got 25 more text messages.
Don't spread
telling
lies.
you to.
Don't spread lies. It wasn't a commercial break. It was before the show started.
Yeah.
And you
It
said,
wasn't a
25
commercial
people
break.
text me saying how horrible you are
Yeah.
and you ruined my show.
There was a span of 2 or 3 weeks where you were a prick, bro. But I'm glad
25 text messages.
You know what?
Okay.
Hey, but I chalked it up. You know, COVID. You're cooped up in your
Stress.
basement every day. Occasionally, you get out, hang a sheet of drywall, and you go back to your basement. Like,
Look
it's
at
okay.
these cabinets, Corey. Top floor.
They're nice. and you know what, Daryl? But you have turned the corner. You have brought that spry personality back to this show, and now you've elevated it to a height that it's never been reached before.
Yep.
So thank you. I'm concerned about your mental health, but now you're fine. I could see it in your eyes. I could see the glisten.
They're not black anymore.
They're
completely
not black in a cold, rock cold heart like the Grinch.
But have you noticed that people are saying, "Don't go, guys, don't go"?
No, I don't read the
I haven't
reviews.
seen any of that.
I don't
Really?
read the reviews. No.
Yeah.
Lauren, people are adamant
I
that we
think people
stick
still
around
think
here.
I'm Casey Boat.
They don't want us to go. They want us to stay.
She had her baby.
I'm done.
Chad Boat and Casey had their baby. Chloe.
So many babies.
It's
Everybody's
baby
having
season.
babies right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And little Austin Dillon's baby, Ace, has made him a better driver. You know, sometimes we've talked about this. When drivers have babies, they kind of fall off. Not Austin. Austin's been running even the best of his life right now. What's going on?
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, man. Maybe it can't be the equipment, right? The equipment doesn't just suddenly, or you think they save their best stuff for when it counts?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think that they have made some gains. We're referring to Austin Dillon running second at Richmond. He probably actually had a shot of winning that thing if he didn't miss pit road under a green flag sequence. He's run well. Obviously, he run what, second? Yeah, he ran second and second so far in the playoffs. Second at Darlington behind Kevin Harvick. So I personally love to see it because it's not the 11 car and it's not the 4 car and it's not the same guys every week. Like,
agreed.
He is Austin Dillon essentially is the Cinderella story of the playoffs so far, right? He's a long shot, right? But he won a race this year at Texas, so he probably shouldn't be considered a long shot or a Cinderella story. But for all intents and purposes, he's not the normal runner. So yeah, you got to kind of pull for him. And I do think that a team like RCR, they find what works for them throughout the course of the year, then they build their brand new cars for the playoffs, lower, lighter, right? They bend in the rules probably a little bit more than they have been all year, just to try to get a little bit more, and it shows up. I mean, I think ECR motors are really good right now. I think they are probably the strongest engine manufacturer from some sources. So obviously it's called motorsports for a reason, and if you have a good motor, then you're going to run pretty good no matter where you're at, from Richmond to Darlington to Bristol this weekend. So it's cool to see the 3-car running good.
Did he finish 4th or 3rd or 2nd? I think he finished 4th, right?
Oh, was it 4th? All right, I should have done my
But he was running
sorry.
second forever.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And he missed the green flag. It's easy to do there at Richmond, especially after a long green run. Your tires are hot and you're slipping and sliding around, and then that commitment cone, they call it, which isn't even a cone, it's just a painted box on the road that you have to put your 4 tires underneath to commit to pit road. Well, he slid by it, cost himself some speed, and ultimately threw a shot away at the win, giving it to Brad Keselowski, who was pretty much dominant all day.
Mm-hmm.
That also, I wanted to talk about, this wasn't even a topic, but like the big topic of conversation after Saturday night was it a good race or was it not? And Lauren, I know you have a very strong opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
So please let me hear if you considered Richmond a good race or not.
Okay. Well, first of all, I didn't watch it.
Lauren.
Daryl, that was my birthday. I was not sitting in front of a TV watching the race. But
Well, then
I
give
have
us
I've
the
done a little
play-by-play of your birthday.
I've done a little research. It was not exciting. It was probably as exciting as that race, to be honest. It was great, but not very exciting. I don't think that there was long green flag runs, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we need to have wrecks for a race to be exciting, in my opinion?
Well,
Yes.
that's the question, right? If you are a fan of racing and strategy and you like the varying strategies of somebody short pitting versus long pitting, hoping for a caution, somebody getting the most amount of speed on pit road, which if you're a technical person and you've got the NASCAR app running and you can see the split times and all that, I don't know the percentage of fans that are on that side of it.
Yeah.
Or if you're a fan that likes to sit in the stands, which in this case would be on your couch, and just drink a bunch of Busch Light and watch cars crash into each other. Like that's a whole
That's what
a
I
whole
like.
nother, like you're watching the same race hoping for a different result, right?
Right.
Like
No,
because
Daryl, Andrew is very into the details of all of it, okay? He is like saying he thinks that he's broadcasting the race from the couch. He is telling you what you need to hear as if I cared.
so for the fans, like I mentioned earlier, that like to know the strategy, like to see guys better on the long run than the short run, like Richmond had it all for that. I mean, there was different strategies. There was guys coming and going, the guys that hedging their bets with their car set up on the front end versus the back end, and you saw a lot of comers and goers, but there was not one caution, not one. I guess what you call a natural caution versus the stage breaks, right? So it was a long race that just literally went green the whole time, and we had 2 green flag stops at Richmond, which is a 5/8 mile, 3/4 mile racetrack, which you never really see. I personally would love to see. I like to see cautions because usually that means somebody in front of me wrecks and I get some spots. But I thought it was a good race because there was so many passing opportunities with guys on different tires. It doesn't make it for those highlight videos of guys smashing the fence or whatever, but I don't really know if we can please everybody. You can't please everybody. That's I guess that's the end of the game of racing, whether it be if you're a fan of sports or just politics in general. One half's gonna be happy and one half's gonna be pissed off. Daryl, which side were you on watching that Richmond race?
It was really good. I was so happy to watch my friends race their cars. No, it was okay. It was not the best Richmond race in recent memory. The best Richmond race in recent memory is when that country boy climbed up the fence and just sat up there for like 25 minutes. That was my favorite Richmond race. But that had nothing to do with the racing either. That was just exciting.
That's right. See, me and Daryl, we look for the drama. We look for the entertainment value of it.
Yeah.
We don't care anything about the cars going roundy round doing good.
Well, and I don't want to. Well, I don't want to pick on NBC by no means. I think they do
a great job.
They do a really good job.
Yep.
But if you compared the product on the racetrack of an F1 race, Daryl, do you watch F1?
Yeah, we're gonna get a phone call. Tread lightly. We only have 8 shows left, but they'll
I
still
know
call
that.
us out.
Well, that's the reason why we're talking about it, because there's only 8 shows left. They cut the rest of the 7, like it is what it is. If you watch an F1 broadcast, their product on the racetrack is nothing near as exciting as what a NASCAR race is, right? But you already know that Lewis Hamilton's going to win, like 99% of the time. And his teammate Bottas is going to finish second. And Max Verstappen's either going to finish second or third. Like, the same guys are going to run good. But it's exciting from start to finish because the broadcast shows the technical aspect of it. They don't cater to a surface level fan. They cater to a guy like me who wants to know the facts, wants to know the splits, wants to know, hey, is this guy in a soft tire? Is this guy in a hard tire? Is this guy faster during which segment of the racetrack? So I wish that NBC went and dug into a deeper technical level and actually got the fans up to speed on that aspect instead of being like, well, yeah, we're just going around and running third, looking good out there.
I think that might be a culture thing, though. Like, I feel like F1 appeals to probably more of a European audience, right, than Americans. And I think as Americans, we want, like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Like, I want to see the race cars crashing into each other and all the redneck shit.
Yeah, but
you know?
I feel like at a place like Richmond, being that, I understand the theory of not showing the throttle and brake traces at a place like Vegas, right, when you're on the wood for eight or 9 or 10 laps or the majority of the run, because that's not exciting. Just green bar, right? That doesn't show driving finesse. But when you go to a place like Richmond and you're using a lot of brake and you're throttling the gas and you can't even get wide open on the straightaway because you have 700 horsepower, 750, like that's the stuff I feel like is cool to watch. And they do it a little bit, but not as often as a F1 broadcast. And I feel like that's what actually gets you engaged more. And you kind of even if they fabricate some of the battles that are going on the racetrack, it's still exciting. And that's why a race like Richmond, if you don't have that technical aspect where you're keeping up with somebody, how their tires are degrading and what their strategy looks like and what tires are on versus somebody else, then it's just monotonous of just going around in circles. So, like I said, I don't want to point a finger at any particular bike, because I do think NBC does a good job, but I wish that there was another level of technical assets they could put into driver telemetry, even driver heart rates. I feel like there's technology available they can use to make the fans more engaged with the actual effort they're putting on. So, yeah, I mean, but it seemed like, generally speaking, people didn't think Richmond was a particularly good race.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with Lauren. I don't think we need Rex, but if this was 25 years ago, we'd be sitting on our radio show saying, "Did you see Dale give the bumper to Rusty at Richmond last night? He moved his ass all the way up the racetrack. That was a great man. He was wore his bumper out."
Yeah.
We don't see any of that. You guys are coming back with clean race cars.
Yeah.
You see little boys playing with cars on the floor. They're crashing them. They're having, there needs to be. Our bumpers are so sensitive. We've talked about this before. I don't want to see you guys. Driving skills more impressive than just moving people out of the way. I get that all you drivers feel that way. But as a fan, if somebody would have moved somebody out of the way, maybe the back half of those cars,
Yeah.
We're in a catch-22. The back half can't waste their cars, and the top half is too talented to do it. So
and that's
no one really moves anybody out of the way, and then you don't get any of those exciting things to talk about at the water cooler. You get, did you see how he shaved 1/10 of a second off for the last 17 laps?
That's a great point. But I think the main reason you don't want to hit anybody or bump anybody, because you said it, the bumpers are paper thin, right? And if you move somebody to get a spot halfway through the race and you get a hole, like an actual physical, like a hole in your nose, then you lost your downforce, and downforce matters even at a place like Richmond, right, or Phoenix. The short tracks, quote unquote, is what we call it. Air still matters when you're going 140 miles an hour. If you have a hole in your nose, if you don't get it taped up, your day is essentially over with. Now, not to that drastic of a side, but like, you don't want to get damage on your car, because ideally your car, when it's straight, is making the most downforce, and downforce is something that you cannot beat. Speaking of short tracks,
where are we going?
Big news last week, Daryl. I was elated to hear this, that California, or Auto Club Speedway, was reconfiguring their entire track to make it a half-mile short track. They already had the renderings up. You can probably go find it Bob Pocker's Twitter or anywhere else that has the nitty-gritty. I'm interested. There was a little bit of a split when it come to people who were excited about it. Well, maybe they should have done Kentucky. Maybe should have done this track or that track instead of California, because California is so great. But
NASCAR doesn't own those tracks.
NASCAR doesn't own those tracks, right? Nor were they going to be able to get another 6-7 years out of the asphalt at California Speedway. So I believe it was everything's a financial decision at the end of the day, right? But NASCAR was probably to the point where they were looking at having to repave California because it was so wore out. The seams are just getting wider and wider. The bumps are getting bad, and the guys are complaining that it hurts their back over the backstretch bumps and all that, which I could care less about. But they were probably looking at tens of millions of dollars to repave the place, or
just wipe it out and start over.
Wipe it out, sell the land that the whole back half of the track's taken up to the I don't know, all the businesses that are around California Speedway, and just make it a half mile, because everybody's complaining they want more short tracks. Well, hey, Let's
this
give
is
it
a
to
way
them.
to get them.
And I think it's going to be awesome. California was a fun driver's track, but you got to have the cars, which goes back to our conversation about Richmond. You got to have the cars close to each other. You got to have guys laying the bumper to each other. And at least when you're sitting there in the stands, like you can look down and like everybody's on top of each other. Like that's what, for everybody's short attention span anymore, that's what we have to give the product on the racetrack is guys, close proximity, smashing into each other. And the shorter racetracks, it's not quite as reliant on air. So I was super pumped up to see it. I'm excited to see, there was an article The Athletic put out about they recreated it in iRacing, and they've been tweaking on it and trying to make it, raceable. So I'm interested to see what it looks like. I mean, they have some renderings, but it's not going to be exactly what it's drawn up to look like. So it's pretty cool.
I think that's a place where we have a lot of guests too come to California or come to Auto Club. And I think obviously with the racetrack getting redone, they're going to redo a lot of the facility there too. So I think that it'll look like what they've done at Phoenix, at Richmond, at Talladega. And I think the infield is probably going to be pretty baller too.
It's going to be sweet.
And the lazy girl in me loves short tracks. I love not having to walk very far. So it will be great if when we ever go back to a racetrack, Daryl.
Well, I am going to be at Phoenix, I believe, Lauren.
I can't wait.
My second race of the year, Daytona and Phoenix.
The first and the last.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think they have convinced me to come. NASCAR's convinced me to come to Phoenix.
How much convincing did they have to do? Did they really twist your arm a lot?
I have not 100% committed, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
Are they gonna give you a hazmat suit to wear, Daryl? Bubble boy.
Well, no, I want to do a good job, but I don't want to go there just to be masked up the whole time. That doesn't seem right. But then again, I won't even come in that room with you guys, so it doesn't make sense that I go into a suite with 50 people, right?
Yeah,
bunch of strangers.
I know.
But at the same time, it's like I've been taking good care of myself. I'm healthy, and I'm not going to be in a room for hours. And it seems to be that it's exposure time is the big issue.
Well,
so as long as I keep it moving, I should be okay.
Well, and I think you're forgetting the biggest point. Big Daddy's got to get paid too. So
right, that's what I was getting at, Daryl.
I'd be loading my ass up and going to Phoenix too if I was you.
Just to well, yeah. But what am I going to do with that money if I'm,
dead? I don't know.
Fine,
Yeah.
Kayla needs it. Kayla can
use it.
She can take care of your business after you're gone.
No. She'll take over. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll be
You'll be fine, Daryl.
I didn't hear either one of your opinion on the short track. Besides Lauren's shorter, so she doesn't have to walk as far.
That's right.
Well, I was going to say something, but then I guess we only have 7 shows left, so maybe I can say it. But I know we'll get in trouble for this too. Auto Club has traditionally not been able to sell a lot of tickets, and I don't know why. It's a great track. I love going there. We love going there. But for some reason, they have not been able to get the people to show up at Auto Club, considering how big California is and how many people are living within driving distance. I don't know if it's the traffic or if you're competing with everything that California offers. There's so much to do in California, and it's competitive, but they have not sold tons and tons of tickets. So I love the idea that they're changing something up because they need to change. You have to change something, right? You got to try something.
Well,
and if it sells more tickets, it'll be great. But hold on, when I worked for Speed Channel back in the day, when you were a kid, Corey, you might remember your dad putting on the old Speed Channel.
Oh yeah.
I used to work for Speed Channel back in the day. I remember Auto Club being packed. They had a lot of people, and the campgrounds were packed, and it was a big deal. But somehow or another, I think it's just. I really don't think it's even the racing product. I just think California has a lot to offer. And one of the things that people are not interested in is sitting in the car for 3 hours, to get to these races. So anybody local is not going to fight traffic to go there. You're going to go if you're camping. So I remember the camping always being amazing at Auto Club.
Still is.
So yeah. So it's California. You would think it would be like a huge thing. And we never really seem to sell tons and tons of tickets there. So I think this is a good move at trying to do that. However, if we're going to do a short track and you can't use bumpers and you can't move people out of the way and you can't wheel your car, then it's just an exhibition looking race. If I see one more person tell me that dirt racing is where it's at. The only reason they like dirt racing is because the cars are just on the edge of out of control every single turn. Everybody's passing each other every single turn. We have that. We have the ability to do that. Maybe not with this car, but we could easily do that. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I do. And obviously, I think every track attendance has went down just comparatively to the things that are offered in any particular area, right? Like when it gets into this particular season, right, NASCAR's up against the NFL. It's hard to get eyeballs on TV or butts in the seats. But NASCAR, I think in this particular situation, I have no inside knowledge on this whatsoever, but they were in between. Let's just say let's just say, hey, we're not reconfiguring the track, and we just repave California. Just repave it. Now, we've seen with all these racetracks, Texas, Kansas, Michigan, all these tracks that have been newly repaved, the racing product's terrible because the asphalt's not wore out, and it's pretty much hammered down. And Goodyear has to bring a really hard tire to keep up with the loads that create with the new asphalt. So it's like, all right, do you repave the joint and then have 6 years, 5-6 years of like lackluster racing, or you just ball it all up, sell the land to the industries behind the track, possibly recoup some money, and actually have a marquee venue an hour out of LA or 4 hours, depending on how bad the traffic is. But I think NASCAR hit a home run with this. I'm super excited to see it because if anybody listens that hasn't been to Phoenix, hasn't even been to Daytona or places that NASCAR specifically has their finger on with making new or updated with Wi-Fi and just amenities, like they have to go check it out. It's going to be sweet. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. Lauren, was that fair or was that being too critical?
I think it was fair.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that was a good answer, Daryl.
You can look at the stands and see that it's not 100% capacity, but I also think...
But it's never going to be. That's not the reality that we live in anymore.
No, and I think you have to be more efficient. You have to give people better amenities at the track, whether it be food or beverage or Wi-Fi or whatever people want that draws them to... That's the difference, right? Back in the day, there used to be a blackout within a 3-hour radius of the racetrack. If you were in the radius of the racetrack, you had to go to the track to watch it. Now we don't have that. So would you rather sit and bake in the stands for 3 hours, or would you rather sit on the couch and drink your beer out of the fridge? And lately, people just want to sit on their couch.
Yep.
I think that's what we're into. But
I will say California, like where the fans are, though, is one of my favorites to visit because there's people skateboarding.
Yeah.
There's dogs wearing sunglasses. By the way, you have every single culture and race represented at a California racetrack, which I really like. It's just especially like going to every race that like we used to do, or I used to do, you can really feel the difference when you pull into Auto Club. You're like, oh, okay, this is crazy. Like it just, and the food options are different and very diverse. And it just feels like you're at an event. But if we went to Long Beach, Corey, in a fantasy world, if they took NASCAR to the Long Beach course for Grand Prix, do you think we'd sell out?
Well, I don't know if Long Beach ever technically sells out because they have like seating all around the place. But yes, they would. The first year or two.
The first time.
The first time, right? Everything sells out the first time because it's new and exciting. And then it's like, okay, well, I already saw it. Now on to the next thing because our attention spans keeps getting shorter and shorter with every like on Instagram and every story that we continue to scroll through. But what I am excited about as well is fans will be back in the stands. Bristol, Jerry Caldwell and his team at BMS continue to be on the forefront of figuring out, I don't know what they do, who they talk to, but they're the ones getting fans back in the stands. There was 30,000 at the All-Star race, which felt like 1 million after we've had none for 3 months, 5 months now. But do we know how many are going to be there this weekend?
I don't know.
I would imagine it's going to be close to that 30,000, if not more. So
40,000.
40,000. So we're bumping it up. I think it's more than 30 though for the All-Star race. So the Bristol night race, Daryl, is my favorite of the year. Just Bristol's badass, whether it's daytime, nighttime, midnight, doesn't matter. Bristol's an awesome racetrack. Badass, hell yeah. But when the lights come on and the fans are just like the energy in there, you walk in there and it is the last great Coliseum, right? Like on our honeymoon, we actually went to Rome. I'm sure we talked about it on the show, but we walked into the Coliseum, right?
This is just like Bristol.
And I got the same goosebumps walking into that joint as I did Bristol. Like, it is eerily similar. And have you been to Rome, Daryl?
To Italy?
Yeah.
No. The Great
The
Coliseum?
Yeah, and I'm not sure we'll ever be allowed back to Italy. But
I love that you went to Italy, and I asked Kelly if you liked it, and she was like, I don't think he liked it, but I loved it.
No, I liked it for sure, because I would rather see things I haven't seen than go sit on a beach and drink strawberry daiquiris for...
Boy, we are not the same person.
For a week. So, I mean, I guess I went down on a tangent a little bit, but Bristol is...
But you like it.
Bristol is badass. And when the lights come on and the cars are hitting the ground and the sparks are coming and you're smashing into each other for 500 laps, you feel like you're just like in a closet with 39 other cars.
Can you think of anything worse than a clean Bristol with no cautions?
It wouldn't happen because I feel like...
It has happened. We've had it very close. Yeah, well, I'm saying with nobody sliding up and nobody moving anybody. I mean, that's not Bristol then.
Well, you're going to see that.
It as the great Coliseum gladiators.
The battle.
This is going to be...
Yeah. Well...
Hey, so that's interesting, Corey. But what I want to talk about after the commercial break is this silly season is absolutely out of control. We do need to take a commercial break. I like your last point, whatever it was. But let's come back and talk about some Suarez and some Bubba and some Denny Hamlin racing. Oh, yeah.
Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina is redefining the drive-thru coffee game in Race City, USA. The Clutch experience is fast, friendly, and delicious. Clutch Coffee Bar offers signature lattes and mochas, custom-flavored infused energy drinks, smoothies, and more. You can also order our signature Clutch coffee beans online and have them shipped directly to you. Go to clutchcoffeebar.com or visit our 2 locations in Mooresville, 356 Williamson Road and 154 West Plaza Drive. Power up today with Clutch Coffee Bar.
We're back from commercial break. Boy, some interesting topics there. I can't wait to see what Alexa cut out. Hopefully it'll be the right stuff so we don't get in too much trouble. Corey, this has to drive you crazy. Here you are, fighting for your life every week, working on your Barracuda till your fingers are bleeding.
Oh, no. Hang on. I got a story.
Oh, here we go.
So I wasn't going to say this last week because it was too close to being removed. I almost missed the Daytona Speedway race because I got poked in the eye working on the Barracuda, and I had to go emergency. I had to call in a favor for an eye doctor. So I took all the rear end stuff off, and the emergency brake cable was hanging down about eye level. I was on the lift up underneath working on it, and I turned around and it was right in my, literally eye open, right in the eyeball. And that was at about 3:00, and I tried to tough guy it. I was working for the next couple hours, and it was watering, right? When you get poked in the eye really bad and it hurts, or you got something in your eye.
Mm-hmm.
So I started driving home, and the more you blink, right, it's the worse it gets. So it was about 6:00, and I'm driving home. This is Friday night. The race is Saturday night, and I can't even open my eye at this point in time. It is hurting real bad. So I go on the couch. I'm like, all right, what? I'm laying down for a little while, and it's swelled up, and I can't even see at this point in time. So a buddy of mine's a doctor, an eye doctor in Kentucky, and I'm like, yo, what the hell do I do? I'm not as of right now, I can't walk to the bathroom, let alone drive a car. All right, let me work on it. So he called in a couple favors. He lined up a doctor, eye doctor in Cornelius. She met me. Her office opened it up, right, and did the screen with the dye and the whole bit, and I had 2 big gashes on my eye, and she gave me some steroid shots or steroid drops, and I didn't even know this was a thing, a Band-Aid contact. So you put a contact in your eye, put steroid drops, and it doesn't when you blink, it doesn't essentially peel off whatever it tries to repair. So I slept in it, kept putting drops in it about every 3 hours, woke up, went back to her in the morning, pulled the contact out. I was about 95%, thank God, and raced that night. So the Barracuda, I got blood, sweat, and cornea already into that thing. And it's luckily, thank you, Dr. Brittany in Cornelius. She saved my ass.
Okay, no more eye injury
Man.
talk on
Now
this show.
I wear glasses. Like I should be wearing glasses all the time, but I wear them like pretty much all the time now working on it because I can't afford to.
Yeah, you need
Get something like
safety goggles.
Kelly would leave you if you lost an eye, probably.
Probably because I'd
No
be broke.
way. Corey with an eye patch? Hell yeah.
I look like a pirate.
Oh, God.
Lauren, are you one of those people that can't touch their eye?
Oh, no, I can touch my eye. I just can't do eye injuries. That hurts me
It
to
hurts.
the core. Ugh.
Yeah, I found a contact lens in our bed the other day, and I was like, Kayla, there's a contact here. And she's like, you're not supposed to sleep in them. I'm like, but you're not supposed to throw them in the bed. Like, what is, you know? Well, anyways, all this silly season talk is what I was going to ask, Corey. It's got to be driving you crazy. As soon as you think you have an opportunity, another driver announces that they're also a free agent. Now Daniel Suarez has said, amigos. I want to see.
Here, can you zoom in on that?
No,
I'm just
can't
kidding.
zoom in.
It's fine.
So
Now
I have a picture of my eyeball. So yeah, you can see it.
Ew.
So the green dots are like the scratches along the side of my eye. So we are good to go now. We were good to go Saturday at Daytona. We got crashed on the last lap, but that wasn't because my eye was scratched. We're good to go. But yeah, I mean,
Gross.
it doesn't make me aggravated because I'm in the same position now, Daryl, as I've been the last 5 years of my career. It's like it's not uncomfortable. It might be uncomfortable for a guy like Suarez.
I know,
Bubba.
but what I'm saying is like the 43 is open, right? So maybe you get your whole team, everybody's like, okay, we're going to work on the 43 deal. And then Suarez is like, what about me? And now he could be in running for that ride. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, forget the 43. We're going to go after the 47. And you're working on that. And then Ty Dillon or somebody else is like, wait, I'm available too. I mean, there's a lot of free agents at the moment. And then Denny Hamlin shows up and he's like, I need a driver too, allegedly. What happens? What's going on in the driver group chat? Like, let's burn some bridges today, Corey. Tell us where people are going. There's 7 races, 8 shows. I don't know, whatever we have left. Like, what are we doing? Let's just talk about it.
I can't afford to burn any bridges because I have to walk across at least one of those to have a job, right? But I'm not losing any sleep about it because I have more sponsorship now than I've ever had in my career. I've got more experience, and the guys. You can look at a list of free agent guys. I will put myself, talent behind the wheel, up against any of them. I'm not worried about that. And head for head, Eric Jones is probably the biggest free agent. I passed him twice, pretty much every run at Richmond. There's no reason why the 32 car should be passing the 20 car. In any excuse, there's not one excuse for him as to why my car should be passing his car. So,
well, like a lot of those free agents have had an opportunity to perform in great equipment.
I like Daniel Suarez. There was a article or interview that was put out by Dustin Albino, talking about how frustrated he was, and he came over to this country to be competitive in races, which he did in Xfinity Series. But he had 3 legitimate years in Gibbs and Stewart-Haas equipment to get the job done, right? And I just don't see, besides the dollar signs that come along with it, and that's the leading question anymore. It's not like, hey, are you going to keep yourself in good shape, or you can do the homework to try to make yourself a better race car driver? Are you going to come to the shop and talk to the crew? No, it's like, how much money you got? That's the first question, not the third, not the second. Like, that's the first one, which naturally everybody knows that Daniel's in pretty good spot with his partners, right? But I'm not too far off of where he has just by working and cultivating and nurturing these guys that I've had. So, I think that once, a guy like Andy Murstein owns Richard Petty Motorsports, I have a past with those guys as a development driver. So it's certainly it's not far-fetched to possibly be able to work something out over there. The latest rumor.
Look Corey right in the eyes right now and tell me if he reacts at all. Corey, are you going to the 34?
No.
The 34? What's that?
He knows what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
You haven't heard about the 34? McDowell?
No.
Oh.
He's doing a good job.
Keep going. You'll see, Lauren. It's all coming out.
I'm just getting uncomfortable.
I haven't looked at her in the eyes this long before.
No, but so there's a lot of rides open, Corey. So can you want to be a quarterback or you want to stay out of it? Who's going to the 43, do you think? Do you think Ty Dillon could end up in the 43?
No. I think that would probably, I mean, obviously it's possible because they have RCR equipment now. I'm sure Pop could slide some cars and slide some engines over there to make a deal happen. Like, that's not far-fetched, right? It's like all these political factors involved. It's not just like, hey, I like you as a driver. I think you're good. I'm going to pay you this, and you come drive my race car. That's not how it works anymore.
Does Ty Dillon want to continue driving race cars?
I don't know. I'm not Ty Dillon.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would imagine he does. I mean, there's no job in the world that Ty Dillon can get to make the amount of money that he's been making.
That's true.
So I'm sure that he would want to try to keep some sort of a job.
Is Corey LaJoie going to the 37?
No. I think Eric Jones ends up there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think that's just because that's a funded car, essentially. Eric Jones has no money, wants to get paid probably more than any other free agent on the market because he's been making that much money. I just see that being a fit over there. Or they might stay the same. You hear it both ways. And then what else is available?
Does Matt D go to the 34?
I'm sure everybody's having conversations with everybody else, right? And I haven't thought about this until you just asked. I could even possibly see Matt going to a 42 because they've been playing that eerily close to the chest over there.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't been hearing a whole lot of talk. That's the thing too. It's like I think I talked about it on the show. You don't hear like the rumblings as much this year because you don't get to like rub shoulders with people in the garage. Like that's how like you knew everybody talking to everybody when you had a Thursday or Friday practice, a Saturday qualifying session because you were always walking around talking to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a formal email, it's a text message. Hey man, can you talk for a second, right? And like everybody's now able to play the cards close to the chest. So you don't hear a lot about what guys are working on. So
how long until we know where Bubba's going? Do we think?
I think within 3 weeks probably.
How long till we know where you're going?
Within 3 weeks probably.
Oh Lord, this is gonna be so exciting. Corey,
okay,
is there
I'll do it for the next 3 weeks and I'm done.
Yeah, then we'll have a month left.
Is there a chance that Briscoe goes to the 14 and Larson ends up in your car at the 32?
There's zero chance that
not
Larson ends up
happening.
in the 32 car. Zero. Because I mean everybody just assumes that it's this tight Stewart-Haas relationship. It's like they bought some cars and have some simulation support. I believe Kaz Grau is going to go to the 32. Daryl's buddy.
I like Kaz.
I like Kaz too.
We know
the
Daryl.
best driver they've ever had over there.
Maybe so. We'll see. We'll see how he is. I don't believe that would be the case, but it's gonna be certainly a change for him going from driving, a race winning Busch car for the last 2-3 years to grinding it out for 30th. It's gonna be. It definitely is it's a mental shift, and it's just hopefully he's mature enough to handle it if he does make that jump.
Well, there's a lot of talk about an altercation that you brought up between Denny and Bubba, and would Bubba ever be able to drive for Denny again, given their checkered past? But now you and Denny have a checkered past as well, so I'm not going to ask.
Oh, I got a good story. I got a good story, too.
Would you drive for Denny Hamlin if he called you to drive for him?
He's not going to call me. Let's just leave it at that.
That's not what I asked you.
No.
Yeah, I drive.
You would have Denny Hamlin as your boss.
If the price was right, yeah. I mean,
wow. Lauren, zero integrity in this sport. I love it. Nobody's got a lot.
No, Daryl, is integrity holding on to a grudge?
Yes.
No, that's not. That binds you up personally. If you like I'm over it. But let me add to this topic.
Right when I got over it, Corey, Denny drove like a complete asshole against Ross Chastain, and I'm back in it. Now I'm on it for Ross's side.
Well, stick in it for Ross's side. Stick in it for my side. I appreciate it, but I'm like I don't even think about it. So after the race was over, I go to Saturday night. I change after the race was over. I was a little aggravated because we didn't finish where we should have. So I change. I'm walking out of the garage area. Right, and I'm walking. It was gonna be a hike for me to walk from the garage area out the tunnel up to where I parked my car. So some of the drivers that had their golf carts parked inside, they were just gonna hop in the golf cart and roll out. So I get to the tunnel, and like a couple golf carts are rolling by, and I see Ty, and he's got like how the golf carts have the plastic sides, like they're, for rain or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got those down, and I see Ty. I'm like, yo, let me get a ride. And he's about 50 yards away, and he cruises up, and I unzip it, and Denny's in the front seat. And, I was like, hey, man. So I jumped in the back, right, and it was a little bit awkward for like the first minute, and like nobody talked. And because I think Ty was like, ooh, I don't know if I thought this one through. And, like I opened it up. Hey, man, like, how's the kids doing? It looks like you're able to spend some more time with them, having some fun. So we made some small talk and I wouldn't say bonded, but we found mutual ground with talking about our kids, because that's an easy topic to talk about, right? So we had a pleasant 6-minute golf cart ride together.
That's nice.
So we have progressed. Did I tell you that I saw him in the drive-through parking lot or the drive-through at Starbucks? I said that, right? So we have progressed from a head nod.
You've had 2 interactions now.
And then a golf cart ride. So I'm only 1 or 2 steps away now from going back over and being invited to play basketball. So like,
they don't use that court for basketball anymore. That's for Jordan's TikTok video. So your dances on
that was really great. That was a good one.
She's a good dancer. Corey, Door Bumper Clear spent a lot of time talking about the way Denny raced Ross. We didn't touch on it at all. Did you have an issue with it?
Not at all. You're going for the win, especially. And Denny didn't do anything wrong. He got into the back of the 10 a little bit, but he didn't wreck him. Like the 54, or I guess Denny in this spot, he tried side jobbing the 10 coming to the white and just overcooked it a little bit, got into the wall, and Ross wasn't able to turn his car underneath of him, and he would have been able to win. But there was no problem with that, because
I don't think Ross had a problem with it either.
No, Ross didn't have any problem with it. He was driving the dog crap out of that thing. That was fun to watch. But I had no problem with it. I mean, it's racing, and that's like, everybody, we were talking about at Bristol, like nobody runs into each other anymore, and everybody's up in arms about that. But when people are racing hard, bumping into each other, then we're like, oh, that ain't right. What the hell? Like, what are we talking about? What's okay? Like a little bit of bumping, a lot of bit of bumping, like especially going for the win when, in Denny's case, there's no points on the line. No holds barred, man. Go for it.
Lauren, I think what he's saying is that we're going to have to start being friends with Denny again, too. Apparently,
no. I mean,
we're a bridge that is back on.
We're not going to.
I wasn't friends to begin with. So.
Well, is it coincidence now that he's going to be a team owner? I got to be a little more friendly with him? No, I was just kidding. But,
yeah. Well, what's the deal? What? So, like, why
what is
so
that?
ambiguous? Is this happening? Why can't people just come out and be like, yes, this is happening. This is what we're doing. NASCAR always does this long, drawn out, like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't say anything yet. Let's just get it out there. Let's do it all different this year. Just tell us where you're going, Corey, so we don't have to keep showing up every week.
I don't know. I really don't know where I'm going, because everybody does play it so close to the chest, because there's so many political factors that play in, right? You have the OEMs. You have, well, this guy wants this guy, and this guy wants this guy, and this guy has more money, and this guy, right? Like, it's just, you have to jump through so many hoops to get a deal firmed up. And even with the RPM Bubba situation, they had terms agreed to and all that, and contracts sitting in front of them, and it just wasn't signed. So you can get to the point of a contract sitting in front of you even, and the deal's not done. So
the number they keep floating is $20 million. Bubba has $20 million sponsorship. Is that enough money to make the 43 great again? Can we make the 43 a contender for championships with $20 million, or is that not?
Yeah, I mean, money buys speed.
Well, Bubba didn't think so, though.
Bubba didn't think so. I mean, at the end of the day, right, it's a money-driven situation, whether I don't know what blew the deal up, because I think that both sides felt pretty confident they were going back. They were looking at a Toyota Alliance, something like what the 95 car looked like. But something obviously wasn't jiving, and it got to the point where Bubba just told those guys he wasn't coming back. And so now we'll never know if $20 million would make the 43 car run. I do think the 43 car has speed occasionally, and it can win a speedway race or maybe a short track race, because if they're even one or two generations of cars behind RCR's running well right now. top 12 cars. I don't think the 43 is too far behind that when it comes to overall speed. So, it looks as if, because the common denominator here with the Denny talk and the Bubba talk is the manager, right? Rod Moskowitz, who he owns Pro Sports Management, who Denny's a partner in, and they represent Bubba Wallace. So he's obviously going to try to keep all those partners that they've signed, if Daryl's correct, which he's pretty close. If it's $20 million, that's a big pot of money. And you would want to try to keep that within your own camp of some sort, right? So if it's Denny going out and buying the 13's assets and charters and starting a team that you already know is funded a time and a half, then why wouldn't you, I guess, try to put something like that together? So weird times, weird silly seasons. Daniel Suarez is obviously now in the mix too. So a lot of moving factors, but I'm gonna be just fine.
You think you'll like racing in the Xfinity Series next year, or you think that's gonna make you feel bad?
If that's what I end up doing,
Lauren almost laughed. I almost got a laugh out of her.
If that's what I end up doing, I got a couple pretty decent options there as well. So, could have some fun there as well, and bump the competition side of my stock up a bit, because I feel like the off-track side of my stock is pretty solid. I mean, Daryl, you single-handedly have resurrected my media credentials, and my social media feels like pretty good. So and I get the opportunity to do Sirius. MRN gives me a chance to do this. Like, I feel like I got the off-track stuff put together pretty well. I just need to put some checks in the win column, whether it be on Saturdays or on Sundays.
I think Xfinity's got some great contenders right now. They have some good racing going on.
Yeah, for sure. And if I'm down there racing on Saturdays with a good team, I do think I can put some notches in the old W column, which would be some fun. And also, it's going to be 2022 is going to be a big year with the next gen car coming in, right? And there's going to be a lot of guys getting out. They're signing 1 year, more or less lame duck contracts just to get the teams through. And that would probably position me pretty well for then. But I think I got some good stuff. I'm not worried about it.
Lauren, we're going to support them no matter what. Actually, we don't have to support them anymore, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to be friends next
Only
year.
8 more shows until we don't have to be friends anymore.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. This is so great. I can start telling people who my real favorite driver is.
Good. How about we go to one more break and we'll come back with the Clutch Performer of the Week and the O'Reilly's, what is it? The O'Reilly's review section?
Yeah.
Did we make that?
Yeah, we made
the
that a
O'Reilly
thing.
review section?
Our Clutch
I think you just made
Performer.
that up, but we can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's what we're doing. We got to have segments to really promote our partners.
Let's take a break.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTire.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the Tire Tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
And we're back with Sunday Money, brought to you only by your favorite auto parts store, O'Reilly's, as well as Hercules Tires. So appreciate those guys keeping us for only 7.25 episodes left. So in the break, we couldn't quite decide who our Clutch Performer of the Week is. Lauren chose
I thought
Austin
this was
Dillon.
easy.
It wasn't easy because a performer means that you didn't crack under pressure,
Okay.
nor take a race-winning car, run fourth with it because you missed pit road. That's not performing.
I'm talking about consistency here. He's consistently been
But
not quite winning, but pretty good.
he's doing well.
Okay.
But if he didn't miss pit road, he possibly could have won.
True.
That's when you get. We don't
That's
just
when
give
you get
out
it.
Clutch Performers of the Week
Okay.
for guys who may or may not make mistakes. You have to be perfect.
Okay.
As
Okay, then I think
Coach
our
Boone
Clutch Performer of the Week is Jimmie Johnson.
No, Jimmy crashed again.
I
Or
don't
got
care. I'm
crashed.
excited that he's continuing on with his life. We're excited about that.
Oh, yeah, that news came out last week.
Did we not talk about that?
No.
No, it came out after, and I told you guys, I guarantee he's going to keep racing. He ain't going to be living in
Daryl.
New York or Aspen going for
Everybody
coffee runs.
knew that he was going to continue to race.
Yeah.
That's not
Play
like
the
breaking
tape.
news.
Play the tape. Corey said he's retiring. I said, you'll see him. You'll see him behind the wheel.
I've always said he's retiring from full-time NASCAR racing because that's what comes out of Jimmie's mouth. I've always known he's wanted to do road races and stuff like that. Long Beach, Detroit GP. Then actually Nashville's doing a street course, which is going to be badass. So, like, I think it's freaking awesome.
All right, we can't give it to him. Who do you want to give it to, Corey?
I don't know. I don't have anybody that stands out to me. Oh,
Brad.
Let's give it to Justin Allgaier sweeping the Xfinity Series
Justin
this
Allgaier.
weekend.
Why not?
Justin Allgaier. What a performance.
That was a performance of the ages for this weekend. Justin Allgaier, you are the Clutch Performer of the Week. Big deal. Congratulations
Speaking
on that
of,
honor.
Go ahead and read
He
it.
has to do
Clutch
his
Performer
thing.
of the Week is located where?
In Mooresville, North Carolina.
Yeah. And you
can
can
order
order
your
your Clutch
Clutch
coffee
coffee
beans
beans.
online and have them shipped directly to you. Go to clutchcoffeebar.com. Yeah. Justin
Yeah.
Allgaier.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's
I
I
great.
like those guys at Clutch Coffee. I met the owner. They're great.
Dude, they're packed.
actually
They're
good
packed
dudes.
too. It's like we keep saying O'Reilly Auto Parts is like the Chick-fil-A of auto parts stores. Well, Clutch Coffee Bar is the Chick-fil-A of coffee shops anymore.
Mhm.
They're so nice. They're so fast. I went by there the other day. The line was wrapped around the building. People cannot wait to get their hands on some Clutch Coffee.
All because of us.
Yeah, and I think it's an old cookout too, Lauren.
No,
No.
not the one right there in Mooresville by that driving range. It's like
It's
I think it was.
It
I
looks
think
like a little cookout.
No, cookout's
It's got
not
the
that
double
small.
drive-throughs.
Yeah, dog. It wasn't a cookout.
I pass Duncan every day just to go to Clutch. That's what I'm saying, Lauren. You understand?
I understand.
Don't we all? We gotta support the guys who support us.
Right.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Now, we got to read some reviews for the O'Reilly Auto Parts review section.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Man Squad Spot. I hope this continues next year. 5 stars. The best podcast in NASCAR. We're still getting the best, Corey, as in number 1, the best.
It's not true.
Did we read the one about the kid that had the summer job? Yeah. and
Yep,
you listened
we
to
did
all
that
of it?
one.
Okay. Tyler Head, 18. Best hour of my week. I thoroughly enjoy the 7th Day Currency podcast. That's a good thing, right?
Sunday is the
Seventh-
first day of the week, Tyler.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Lauren.
first day currency.
And the unique perspective it brings to my favorite sport. So Corey keeps it 100 and speaks from the heart, which I respect a ton. Lauren provides solid insight to other areas of the sport that fans may have overlooked. And as much as I couldn't stand Daryl when I first started listening, well, I've come to love his button-pushing personality and casual perspective he can speak from. Like an aggravating but lovable cousin. I'll buy as much Busch beer and flannel as it takes to keep Daryl around. Oh, thanks, Tyler Head.
What a
But there
nice
ain't no
review.
price.
That was a nice one.
Thanks, Tyler.
What a good
so
guy.
write a review, give us 5 stars, and you might be able to make the coveted O'Reilly's review section.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Riley's.
Nothing.
Are
gives
you?
me
I don't. I don't.
pleasure
I
than
read it
seeing
every. I do it every. I do it every
It's your
week.
thing.
Is
It's
it
your
my
thing?
thing?
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead, Corey.
if it's my thing, then you better be thinking O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and known for their guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people that you can trust. Stop by your local auto parts, O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices, better reviews every day.
Every day.
Now I keep
Really?
I listen to
That's
other
great.
I listen to other podcasts. Listen, it's like Ben Shapiro occasionally, but I try to stay away from anything political now because it doesn't matter what side it is, it's just trash.
Mm-hmm.
And Rock
I heard-
Auto is
Yeah.
advertising everywhere. Don't
Well,
buy
I was
anything from
wondering,
Rock Auto.
Corey
Buy
texted me,
something from
Lauren. He texted
O'Reilly.
me the other day and said, "Have you listened to Natalie Decker's new show?" Corey said he's been a big fan of the Natalie Decker program over there on YouTube.
Why are you spreading lies? I could
Have
think
you
about
watched it?
9 million
I'll
different
have to
things to do
watch.
with my time than watch that.
You don't watch it?
No, I don't watch that.
Okay. Breaking news: Corey does not watch Natalie Decker's podcast.
Now I'm sure
Corey, there's
people-
a lot of podcasts. Everyone wants to know. Lauren and I have made it clear we're leaving. Are you going to continue on? Because people
I
keep
don't know.
tweeting me and DMing me saying, "Is it going to keep doing it next year?" I said, "I don't know." So I'll ask him. I'm asking you now, Corey.
I'll say this. I have a lot of fun with it. I enjoy talking with my friends every Tuesday or Wednesday. So if Lauren doesn't want to do it, nor Daryl wants to do it, I don't have many other friends to do it. So I'll have to reach out maybe and make some more friends between now and February. But I do enjoy it, and if
it's been great. It's
been fun, and I love talking about it. If it's something that MRN wants me to have back or wants to have me back, then I would definitely do it. Maybe I'll just do a monologue, like a daily show with Corey LaJoy.
It can be like the Ben Shapiro show. You just sit in front of the camera.
And ramble. You know what I think.
I don't know. Maybe we weren't clear. Lauren and I are still doing a show. You can be a guest on our show. We're just not doing this show.
Oh, what are you going to call it?
Monday Honey.
NASCAR great again.
Well, I would love to be invited back to your show, Daryl.
We'll think about it.
You know me. Listen, I wish you lots of luck this weekend, Corey. When do you leave? Tomorrow, right?
Saturday morning.
Oh,
One
really?
day shows are great. Just drive up. 3 hours to Bristol. It's a nice drive. Run 500 laps. Run good. Bristol's my favorite. Hopefully we don't break nothing. We can be there at the end.
And we would be remiss without
pennies.
mentioning congratulations, Poppy, on her first day of school.
No, guys, her first day of school was last week. This is her
Congratulations
second week of
on
school.
Poppy on her second week of school.
Congratulations to the teachers going back to work because NASCAR Woke Mob thinks that I don't like teachers. I love the teachers. So congratulations. And thank you for your hard work, teachers. Gotta
love you.
Love those teachers.
All
Talk
right.
to you next week. There'll be some more breaking news between now and then. We'll touch it all.
Okay.
Bye.